Welcome back, ladies and gents, boys, girls, and everything in between. Does not matter to me. I really don't care. Today, we're talking about ratchets and a breaker bar, but primarily ratchets. I've done a video previously, and I don't think that it was as thorough, and it didn't really actually include the talking points that I wanted to include. I was very new to the channel. I was very new at YouTube in general, so we're looking at ratchets and this breaker bar, okay? So, without further ado, I'm going to take a sip of my tea. And we're going to jump right in. So, out of this jumble of mess, what do I use on a daily basis? These two, okay? This is a Pittsburg swivel-headed ratchet. It's a 3/8" drive. I will be purchasing the 1/4" drive shortly, but as it stands, this has been my go-to ratchet. The reason it's been my go-to ratchet is because it's got, I'm ballparking maybe 72 tooth. Okay, like that. It's a relatively high tooth count for a Harbor Freight tool. There's no wobble, there's no wiggle, there's no play. This action and this articulation is relatively tight. You probably lube it up, make it a little bit smoother, but I like how if I want to work at something on this angle, it's going to stay in that angle. If I want to work on something where it's almost a nut driver, it's going to stay in that angle. If it articulates over to this side, it'll stay in that angle. It'll be a conventional ratchet, and I really like this. This has helped me significantly. I use this on a daily basis, and I genuinely mean that. Like whether it be at my current job, or if it's at home working on my truck or my Xterra, or if it's working on small engines, this thing works. You'll notice that the name has been worn off because I work around petroleum products and stuff like carb cleaner and everything else. This ratchet is phenomenal. I really like it. It's my go-to. If I come across something that I don't really feel comfortable using this, then I go to my Husky. This is, what is that store called? It's orange. Anyhow, this is a Husky ratchet. It's a 3/8" drive. Again, I'm pretty sure the tooth count is right around 72. It's a good quality built tool. I haven't had any issues with it. It does the job. It's not a breaker bar, obviously. It's a ratchet, and you use it as a ratchet, and it will last you a long time. I've had this for probably 4, maybe 5 years, whereas this one I've had for maybe 1.5 years. This is my go-to. I love it, but this is the one that I jump in on if I'm doing calipers, or if I'm doing, I don't know, like carb work on my truck, that sort of thing. This is what I go to, right? Just because it's a little bit beefier and it's a little bit more stout than the Harbor Freight version, okay? Moving on from that, now we're going to get into tools that I don't have a whole lot of experience with, but I needed and I wanted. This is an heirloom. This right here, this is a Snapon, okay? The Snapon, it's a 1/2" drive, and it has a tooth count like 12, okay? Like it's a stout tool. It's super heavy. Does the job. I'm not worried about it breaking. And if it does break, I can still take it in to be serviced, right? Snap-on tool, even if it's an heirloom, still take it and get it worked on. It actually does have my grandfather's initials scribed in it. The detent is super, super positive. It's got flathead takedowns on either side. One here, one here. Super cool. I'm stoked to have this, and I have been using it for 1/2" work. And 1/2" work is described as things that 3/8 won't do. Like if I'm worried, here, let me give you an example. This is a breaker bar. See that? See how the head's twisted? That should not have been used for the work that it was worked on, or what it was used for. Okay. I don't even know why I keep this, but it is a breaker bar. And as a matter of fact, I think I keep this for like serpentine belt work and that sort of stuff. But it's almost at a 45-degree cant, if not even a little bit farther. This is why I have half-inch stuff, because if the 3/8 can't handle it, don't push it to where it breaks, right? So, and that's a Craftsman, by the way. But this is again a Snap-on tool, super heavy, super beefy. You know that you're handling, man, puns after puns and sex jokes after sex jokes. This is how you know you're dealing with a half-inch tool, right? It's there. You got it. Moving on from that, this is the unused stuff right in here. Okay. First, I'm going to show you the Kobalt half-inch ratchet, and it's got 90 scribed in the quick release here, and I believe the 90 is because of the tooth count. And yeah, I'm almost 100% positive that's exactly what it is. This is a 90 tooth half-inch ratchet, whereas this is a 4-tooth half-inch ratchet. Yeah, I guaranteed. Okay, so this ratchet does great on big heavy stuff and you got a lot of room to move. This ratchet does great on big heavy stuff that you don't have a lot of room to move. Which leads to the segue of the extensions, right? These are Kobalt extensions. Again, I have a lot of faith in these just because of this. This is another Kobalt extension with a Kobalt half-inch socket. You hear that? It's there. It is there. Like, this is a lot of positive connection. You know it's going to work. So these Kobalt extensions are not something that I have actually used yet because they are brand new to me. And we'll touch on these once I've actually had experience with them. Which leads us to this. This is a Harbor Freight half-inch breaker bar. Cost me almost 15 bucks, which is next to nothing compared to your Snap-on, your Matco, your Mac tools, none of that. The reason why I think I'm going to return this, and I still have the tag and everything, and it pops on and off. I haven't actually used this, for the record. Where is it? There it is. Right? Haven't actually used this yet. The reason I think I'm going to return this is because of this. I don't like that slot. I'm going to plant it. I don't like that. On top of that, the socket itself doesn't actually really seat on there correctly, in my mind. Positive connection. Then you got that little... I'm going to isolate this. I don't like that. Now we do the whole tool again. In my mind, that's not what I want a breaker bar for. Yeah, granted, it is a breaker bar. It's meant to break really tough stuff loose, and maybe there needs to be a little bit of leeway. I don't know. In this situation, I genuinely don't know. I don't know if it's supposed to do that. I just don't like it. So if you take a look at this breaker bar, for instance, I do have a 3/8 inch socket, 3/8 inch drive. There's some play there too, but this one's also twisted all to hell. So how do I know if that's the way it's supposed to sound? How do I know that? I don't. Matter of fact, I'd be willing to bet that it's not supposed to do that. either way you figure it, this is the type of breaker bar I want for my 1/2 inch, not the exact opposite. And if you'll look at the two closely, I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to get in here. If you look at the two closely, this one has the meat on the outside, this one has the meat on the inside, right? I want this in this version. So I'm gonna have to go back and return this one in order to get something similar to this. This is a 25-inch breaker bar. I get it, like this is gonna bend, it's gonna bow, it's gonna do everything, but I don't know that I like that. I don't want to try it out and not be able to return it, so I'm gonna have to go and take a look at the different versions that they offer. So, but that's that. I just wanted to break this down to give you a little bit more in-depth look at, and a little bit more expanded look at my tool selection and what I have. This 90-tooth 1/2 inch drive, pretty cool. I like it. You know what I mean? Like I can see this being extremely useful because of the length of handle and everything else. It's really not that different from this one right here. Give you that look there, right? So center of head to center of head, we're looking at maybe 3/4 of an inch, well, 1/2 inch, maybe 3/4 of an inch difference. Center of head to center of head. Okay, and then we get into the Snap-on 1/2 inch drive, and they're identical as far as center of head to center of head. Maybe off by 1/4 inch. Okay, that's way down here. I can flip this around just so you guys can see. Center of head here, center of head here, like maybe 1/4 inch difference, right? So the Snap-on is going to have a little bit, just a hair more to it, right? Outside of that, what do I have faith in? This is the ultimate question. What have I used and what do I have faith in? I have faith in this swivel head by Pittsburg. I have faith in this standard ratchet by Husky. I have faith in these Kobalt extensions. And I have faith in both of these 1/2 inch drive ratchets. Both the Kobalt, which we'll set over here, and the Snap-on 1/2 inch, which we'll set right there. What I don't have faith in is this breaker bar. A little bit disappointing upon initial glance. I don't like the wobble. I don't know if that's how it comes. You guys let me know in the comment section, please. I'm not super experienced with this. I know what a breaker bar is. I know what a breaker bar is used for. I know how to use a breaker bar. However, brand new, I don't know if it's supposed to have that wobble to it. It bothers me. Like when we're talking about, this is not a precision tool by any means, but when we're talking about, like really bending and cranking on something, I don't want stress to be on the fastening system here. I want stress to be on the bar. I want stress to be on the head here. Or at the very least, on the socket itself, impact or chrome vanadium, whatever. That's what I want to stress on because I can actually trust those. Whereas the head of it just seems, I don't know. This is what happens. This 1/2 inch or 3/4 inch breaker bar is what happens when you do the wrong type of work with the wrong tool. And I don't want to do the wrong type of work with a 1/2 inch drive breaker bar, ended up over torquing something, or breaking, snapping the bolt or whatever else have you. Anyhow, I digress in that situation. Again, this is dad time, just giving you a heads up on what I trust. These are the tools that I trust. These are the tools that I want to use. These are the tools that I will use. This is a tool that I'm unsure of, and if you have any input on it whatsoever, please make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think of it, and let me know what you like, how it worked out for you. Do you own this tool specifically? Do you have a breaker bar that's better? Do they need to have the wobble? Are they supposed to have the wobble? I don't know any of that. I'm just a guy trying to figure it all out again for the first time. So dad time signing out. Love you guys, appreciate you. Let me know in the comments below what you got and why you use it and what applications you use it in. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.